Today we move into this topic of what Sri Aurobindo gave us, the meanings of the Varnas. We already kind of looked through the whole idea of correspondence of Artha and Shabda, um, and the principles Sri Aurobindo gave and the building blocks. We looked also into the morphology, what has greater weight for the meaning and how meaning is being distributed from the root and to upasarga, to suffix, to the ending. Everyone has a different functionality in the distribution of meaning. This is an important thing to understand. What does what? The root is the core meaning, and that core meaning has to be integrated and correlated and connected to other meanings. So how to do it? For that we have definition of the root by the suffix, definition of the stem by the ending, which is introducing this particular formation into the system of other meanings. We will look into Vibhaktis at the end and Karakas. Maybe next time. We have still three sessions together. So we will have time to look into syntax, how avyayas, indeclinables, are managing the linguistic space. But now we will have to finish with etymology. We looked into these fundamental notions of the Varnas, and all of them, you can see that there are 5 levels of articulation. Each of them has a particular significance or color, let us say, yes. A and Ka Varga is the most general, undifferentiated. There is nothing specific other than creative of the being or space in it. Yeah? E Varna is more intense, breaking through, piercing through. So this will have that kind of narrowing down, pointing, one-pointedness, and the roots of this Varna will have the same significance, especially pure roots such as Chi to focus, to concentrate, Ji to break through and occupy, Shi to sharpen. When you sharpen, you make it one-pointed. And of course, Ya root, E root itself is to move. And we looked into this movement as noticing the difference in the undifferentiated background. Yes. You notice how animals are doing this, noticing, yes? They're standing and watching the whole space. And if something moves, they attend to it. Otherwise, they don't see. Everything stays still. And it's amazing because they behave the same way. They stay still. Still until time comes and they jump and run. Because if they move, then they will be noticed. This noticing and moving is actually the fundamental notion of movement. E, root E, yes? Eti itachianti, this second class root. Then we have, of course, Ri Varna. That is, with Ri, I can say more things, of course, from the historical grammar and phonetics, that Ri is a very disputable sound, because in Rik Pratishakya, which is the oldest, Ri sound was the Velar sound, the Ri. So they distribute differently vowels. They say A, Ri, E, Li, U. So that means that Ri is in between A and E, not between E and Li. It's not a cerebral sound, it's a velar sound. So the oldest tradition has that Ri sound. So it was Rig Veda, Krishna, this kind of French, yeah, or German sound. R. And because of that, what we see here in the Varnamala is of Taittiriya. It's of a later time, which became dominant all over India. Because of that, they pronounce it as Ri, like because next is E, and so the sound is going from the lungs outside one way. So when you touch velar, then the next natural is E. That's why they in the north of India they pronounce Rigveda, which is which is cerebral sound but with E together. Rig, Krishna, they say. Yeah? They even write Krishna with E, with I. Yes. Why? Because the memory of that Ri sound, yes, is still there. That next is E. But in Maharashtra, it was cerebral sound, R, and that's next is only U, so Rugveda, Krishna. So you would hear this all the time, and the Brahmins from the north and Maharashtra always disputing how to pronounce that Ri sound, either Rugveda or Rigveda.
Sorry, Vladimir, what's the thing about the Maharashtrian way? I'm totally familiar with what you're saying, but why do the Maharashtrians hold on to the U rather than the E?
Because if it is cerebral sound, the R, cerebral, the tongue is touching the heels over the teeth, that the next vowel which can support that touch is only U, not E. E is behind. You cannot go
Ah,
back. Yeah. So in the old way in the north, that Rig Pratishakya is the oldest, Taittiriya Pratishakya is later. So in that later text, this becomes cerebral Ri. But in the Rig Pratishakya, it is still that velar, R. So if you want to make Ri, is E is naturally next. So that memory was fixed. That memory that E has to be there.
oh my God, I finally get an answer to this. But I've lived both in the north and in Maharashtra, and I could never understand how the same word could be pronounced so differently.
Right.
Yeah. It's also Sanskrit in Maharashtra, whereas in Delhi it's Sanskrit.
Yes. And they write Sanskrit with E because that was the, well, it's a northern, yeah, northern dominated Ri. So Ri is a very tricky sound. And moreover, you can see it in sandhis. For example, Agnih, when it is ending in Ich, yeah. So, and why that Ich, Uch, Ech becomes Ir, Ur, Er before voiced consonants and vowels, like Agnir, Dahati. Why R? And I didn't understand this for a long time until I taught Sanskrit to Frenchies. And for Frenchies, Agnir, Dahati is totally natural. So that H becomes a R voiced before voiced. That's it. That's why it was fixed as a R sandhi, Agnir Dahati. If you say Agnich Dahati, Agnir Dahati, it will appear as a R. And the R got fixed as a sandhi root. So this Ri is yes, an issue. But, and also Sh and Sh sound, these two in India now they are not distinguished anymore. So Shanti, Shanti, Shanti is the same Sh, yeah? But in Sanskrit, Sh, Shiva, Shakti, Shanti is the palatal, and Vishnu, Krishna is Sh, Shat, is the cerebral. Two different Sh and Sh.
So these are the two shurs that we use. One is what we call the 21 shur, 21 wala shur, and the other one is what we call the pet kata shur, which has a line across it.
Yes.
Hmm.
So Rishi, Krishna, Vishnu, Shat. This is Sh cerebral. The tongue is rolling. The same as Chathadadhana,
Yeah, yeah.
Rasha. Sh will be this hard Sh. Or we can say the Sh is mm, English Sh. Yes, English.
Hmm.
normal shopping, this sh. But that sh sound we don't have in English. Yeah, so it's a Shakti, Shiva, Shanti, not Shanti, Shanti, sh palatal sound. And because of that, in Tamil Nadu, in the south, they will write s instead of sh. Because they will even say Shanti rather than Shanti. Why? Because it is that soft sh which is difficult to pronounce. Yes. And Li sound. Li is again a mystery because what is Li? Dental vowel. How can it be dental vowel at all? Cerebral vowel also is very strange. And then vowel has the significance of continuing, yes, without stop. So vibrating, continuing, and li, how? It is not vibrating anymore. It is touching the teeth. So, but it is all, the sound is going on the side, on both sides. So, and this vowel is Indo-European vowel, by the way. You find it in other Indo-European languages, such as Czech language, for example. They will say vulk. Vulk is vrika. Ri and li are interchangeable, especially in Indo-European languages. Panini also says they are of the same origin. So, vulk. You can pronounce l as the vowel. Wow, interesting. And in India they lost it totally, and because they write it as l and ri, so they pronounce it as lru, yeah, or something like lru, but it is not really true. Yeah, it's l sound, and there's only one root left. It is klip, sankalpa, kalpate, klipti. The l sound is there. There is no other word. So basically we can ignore this li sound, but it is there. It is there. It is in the system. Dental vowel. And finally, u is quite easy. It is labial. Yes, in Sanskrit they do not distinguish between va and wa. So either pure labial or labial dental, va, wa. In English, they are very particular about this, and all Indians have the problem. They can say vast instead of vast. And Narad is always correcting us between this v and w. They do
Hey
not.
Vladimir, this is
Yeah,
Kamala here.
yes.
Just curious because we hailing from the south. What happened to the Ra in Sanskrit?
Ra.
Because no Ra, like Tamil is with
Ah,
Ra,
yes.
so the
This
Ra is missing, right?
Tamil, this cerebral, yes, cerebral l. We don't have cerebral l. We have this, yeah, we have r here instead of. But if you take da, sound da, ide, agnimide, yeah. So d in intervocal position, this one, yeah. All right, let me show you this one. D, yeah. In intervocal position, it becomes r, softens, yeah, ire. So this is that sound. In also in Marathi we have it, yeah, r.
So Da goes it interchanges to Ra, is it?
Yes, it is this cerebral l. Yes, we have dental l when the tongue is touching the teeth, and we have cerebral l when tongue is curling and touching the cerebrals on the top. So you have r, tamir,
Yeah.
r. It is even like r pronounced. Yeah, if you give it a little bit voice to it, tamir, tamir.
Correct. So that's the consonant that gets changed. Okay, good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Vladimir.
Yeah. It's like allophone. It's like a modification of D in the intervocal position. In Vedic language, we have a separate sign. Yeah, this 8, so to say.
Thanks for asking that question, Kamala. That is always a very unique thing for
Yeah, and I'm
South Indian.
sure Sri Aurobindo mentions that in The Secret of the Vedas that he doesn't he leaves it off very polishly for us to interpret, but he says that who says that it's all not coming from the same language uh, origin. So I was always curious as to where would it fall here if it is.
Yeah, it falls here into this. R is you see, this is interesting because R reappeared here from the cerebral later, because Rik Pratishakya puts R into the velar, re sound, yeah? And here it reappears and takes the position of R sound, that's Tamar, yeah? And that cerebral L has to be there in its position, actually. This dental, this cerebral. But instead we have re. So we know it from root id, for example, with this d, cerebral d, becomes ire, because in between two vowels, it softens. That's the only thing. So they are interchangeable, d and r. We spoke about modulations, we spoke about articulations. We did all this. Now we are starting to analyze Vargas. So each Varga has a particular sense or significance or color, as it say. Varga has Varna, so flavor, hue. It's a particular hue. So our absolute existence, being in its simplicity, without any further idea of modification or quality, mere or initial being creative of space. And now he gives these kavarga. Ka is possession, mastery, creation, action. Notice the most general movements of consciousness. Yeah? The vastest you can imagine. Yeah? Possession mastery, that means appropriation, yeah? Making the thing part of oneself, as it were. We will look into also how suffix ka is playing. But the most general, a kind of having, yeah? Having being, creating also, krit, yeah? Cutting, carving, all that, yeah? Making shape. And action. Action in most general way. But ka sound already has something interesting. It has an attack because of this h in it. We have to, it's an intuitive vision actually. We will have to, and we recognize it in the roots later, like root khan, to dig, yeah? Insistent, invasion, attrition, detrition. So kanati is digging. And ka is the space also. And space is a hollow space. Yeah? Sukha, dukkha, these words. Yeah? Sakha, ka is the space. Sakha, the one who shares the same space. Sukha is a good space. Dukkha is a bad space. So dukkha, dukkha, sukha has that ka space in it. Yeah? Ga, very, very powerful varna, has something to do with contact, motion, action upon. From here, gacchati, all these roots, gam, yes, and gri, to glossa from here, voice, gir, yeah, to produce the glossa. This is the same Indo-European root, yeah, language, This g has something to do with g, like kanthya, and because it is kanthya, it is considered to be the speech. Somehow it comes from the throat. Yeah? Gir also, gri, jri would be to gobble. Interesting. Gl also. To глотать Russian, to swallow. Yeah? Because it goes through this particular activation of the g, where it is pronounced.
Gulp,
Hmm?
like gulping?
Yes, gulping also, yes. Gobbling. There must be more words, so it doesn't come to me. But it will be this association with the glossa, with the articulation of the voice. Gear. Interesting. Gear. Huh? Also, if you look into the system of roots, you will find something like casting the sound and also taking in, through this gate. Gha has the similar sense as ga, but already with this gha in it, so which makes it more energetic. It's a violent contact. If that is contact, this will be already with energy. Hostile action also. It's this root is used for killing, and for hitting also. Strong motion. And then it's a pure force. Yeah, interesting. Force without any modulation. It's like energy, like a heat of some kind. From here, udhan, to strike, to kill, and so on. All right.
Vladimir, one question in this ka and ka, Vladimir.
Yeah.
What would be the meaning of this sound? Come. I've just pasted it in the chat.
Come. In the chat, one minute. Yeah, I just said that this is the hollow space or the environment or something which is dug out, because khan is to dig, and kham is that space. Sukham, dukham. By the way,
Yeah.
this nasalization at the end, it's interesting thing like n, m, which is very popular in Sanskrit. It actually, how to say, strengthens, or not strengthens, it is kind of stiffens the meaning of the previous syllable. Nasalization. It makes it more solid, makes it more standing by itself. We will come to ma, and you will see it. It is always to create a shaping, making it more steady, like it's steadifying. We can even psychologically feel that. Yeah, this and if you add to come, that makes it more stiffened. Otherwise ka can fly, but come is already done.
Yeah, because just this syllable comes in Gita 7.4. So can it be translated as ether? It comes along
Yes,
with.
yes, absolutely. Ether space, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the dictionary. You can open the dictionary and see what ka. Maybe I should open the dictionary. You will see so many
Only thing is
unexpected
that
meanings.
Vladimir, I'm not able to understand the movement of meaning from ka to ka, because we discussed that the movement is slow and gradual. Now, from possession to attack, I'm not understanding how did the meaning all of a sudden change. But it's because of the her.
Yeah, because of this. So
Oh,
khan, from the hollow cavity, cave, cavern, an aperture of the human body, also mouth, the eyes, the hollow, the organs of sense, ka, also khan. I'm just reading from the dictionary. Yeah? Empty space, air, ether, sky. So many meanings because it's a general significance. Yeah. Now, from possession, mastery, creation, action, if you look at this ka is the most general. Something else I have to say before we continue with this, which I maybe didn't mention, and this is important. Let me say it before we continue, because the questions will come on this ground. You will see that ka is the major letter of the Varga, yeah? A and Ka. Kha is modulation, Ga is modulation, Gha is modulation, and even Nga is modulation. So modulation how? So Ka is a touched sound consonant, which is modulated by the aspiration, touch and Kha, yeah, aspiration, then modulated by the voice, voiced, Ga, then modulated by the voice and aspiration, Gha, then modulated by nasal cave, going through the nasal cave before it touches. Nga. First through the nasal cave, then touch. So why I'm saying this? Because it's important to understand Sanskrit language, yes? If you have at the end of the word ka, k, g, g, you will, all of them will fall into k only. None will sustain. Why? Because k is the measure of all things. That is the touch at the back of the tongue. Yeah? Guttural touch. That guttural touch is the beginning of all and modulation of it. Yeah? So if we see it in that way, we will understand what Sri Aurobindo is writing. The same with ch, with a touch and modulations. Same with t, and p. These are the major sounds, which sustain at the end of the word, except cha. Cha varga never sustains itself. It falls into ka varga or ta varga, either into k or t. Depends. There are some words falling mainly into k, but some words change into t varga from ch. So all this cha cha ja ja will never sustain at the end. Vach will never be vach. It will become vak. Ch falls into k. So you see that k is responsible not only for its varga, but also for cha varga. So it's something we have to keep in mind if we want to see the modulations, in the meaning.
Right. I think this is interesting.
Yeah, because if you think in terms of modulation of sound, you will understand that it adds some significance to it. Now let us look into that question you put, how that k could become something else, like, oops, here it is. Possession, mastery, creation, action became attack, invasion, insistence, attrition, detrition. How? And you can see immediately, if you go deeper into the meaning of possession, mastery, creation, action, you will see that the aggressive action, aggressive mastery, aggressive mastery, can you imagine? Active mastery upon something will create these meanings of attack, insistence, invasion. If you project it, if you make it more active out from itself. If k stays within itself, then k, because of this k, is reaching out, beaming out.
It's like very disruptive force, let me ka.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can feel it psychologically. K stays within itself. K is already expanding somewhere else. That k has, you can continue the fricative. K, it's like vowel. It has no end, but it fades away. So it has its own kind of emanation or action upon the environment. And because of that, attack, invasion, insistence.
Right.
Well, I'm kind of trying to articulate something which you have to meditate upon and feel, and I'm putting it into the language, and it's not totally, say, legit, so to say.
Yeah, because I'm looking for example, we all believe that the vowels and consonants represent some deities, some gods. So, what deity would represent then Ka?
Brahma, the Supreme Spirit. Something there like brich, root brich is to expand. And Ka, in the dictionary, you can see Brahma, the Supreme Spirit, for word Ka. Kham is the Brahman, because it is the ether, the space. Brahman is the space. Spirit is the space holding all within. So that would be the your deity, if you're so interested in deities.
And about Ka, the creation, and
Yeah,
I
Ka
don't.
would have many more deities. Ka will be Prajapati, the creator. You will see the list will give you quite a few of deities actually.
Okay.
And I want to, with Ka is so loaded because Ka is the basis for all the questioning words. Yeah, Kah,
Right.
Putra, Katham, Kutach, Kimartham, all this, Kah, Kau, Ke, Kam, Kau, Kam, Kena, Kabyam, Kaihi, Kasmai, Kabyam, Kebia, Kasmat, Kabyam, Kemi, Kasya, Kayoho, Kesham, Kasmin, Kayoho, Kesh. The whole set of all the questions you can ask in Sanskrit
Also,
starting with K.
also Kaivalyam.
Also Kaivalya, yeah, Kaivalya, we will have to look into that. Kevala, yeah, which is coming from Kevala. Now from Ka, Prajapati is the meaning of Ka. Brahman also, Daksha, Vishnu, Yama, Garuda, the soul of Tattvas, Ka. So you have the whole list of deities,
Many deities.
yeah, assigned to Ka. Why? Because Ka is fundamentally the lordship, yeah? The holding, the touch, possession, mastery, creation, action. Everything is there in the most general way. Like Ah. Sound Ah is undifferentiated state of existence, yeah, without any modification or quality. Mere or initial being creative of space. Yeah, it's like the divine in a way, yeah? From which every modulation comes as some particular letter. I is the foundation for all the vowels and all the consonants, because consonants will be touches with the tongue, lips of that vibration of vocal cords, which is A. So the first and the simplest one is Ka. Yeah? From A to Ka is and Ha. Ha is even more simple. Ha is behind, but it gives the most general significance of force without any differentiation. Yeah? Any force, any power. And that's why Ka, with that Ha, so to say, with that aspiration, adds that energy to Ka. So Ka is the creator, whereas Ka is creator with Shakti, if you will.
Right.
By the,
Shiva and Parvati. I don't know.
by the way, Sri Aurobindo got this vision from Sri Krishna. He said that Sri Krishna in Alipur jail, when he was there, revealed to him the secret of all languages. This is the result, what he is writing. He left such a legacy for us to really dwell upon and to understand. If we could understand this, it changes our mind. Our mind becomes vaster. It is uplifted. We start seeing things which we never saw because of our narrow, spectrum of understanding. But once we widen the scope, we will see much more. Like these letters, simple, but dwell on it, think about it, try it out psychologically, and you will see that you start understanding. And then we come to the Vedic rishis and their language, and then you will see how they use it. They are constantly using this device, yeah, to make it work in the most powerful way. So Gha, we spoke the violent, and Ha, the force, the pure force. This I love, this force. Yeah, makes totally sense to me, at least. Yes, we are moving to the Varga Cha Varga. We have E, a relative existence, an intense state of existence, being narrowed, forceful, and insistent, tending to a goal, seeking to occupy space. So E and all cha cha ja ja nya ya sha, the whole Varga, with semi-vowel and fricative, is of that particular flavor. So cha, swift and brilliant action, insistence, contact. Cha, the same as cha, with greater lightness. Interesting. Maybe that's why Chavarga cannot sustain at the end of the word, because it has something brilliant but swift and light in it, some lightness in it. And because of that, it cannot stay at the end of the word. The end of the word has to be heavier to hold to its own formation. By the way, this shift from ch to k is found in all Indo-European languages. It's not only in Sanskrit, yeah? In all the Slavic languages. So you will see this shift of ch to k, yes? Like rechka becomes reka, speech, speaking, speech, yeah? And you will see speech becomes speak. This ch and k interchangeable is the feature of Indo-European languages. Most probably that's the influence of Sanskrit, that lightness of the at the end cannot sustain. And then cha, the same as with greater lightness, ja, restless, brilliant, decisive action, existence or contact. Interesting, even existence. Decisive action, most probably from root G, yes, you can feel it, or from root Jan, to be born, generate, yeah. From here, existence or contact, and also brilliancy, interesting brilliance, but this light, this kind of sparkling light, J and Ch, they have that. It's not this t and d, yeah, they are totally stopped, but ch and j, they have this something in them, that sharp sparkling. And ja, I may look into the dictionary. You will be surprised how dictionary gives you so many contextual meanings for these. Let me say cha first. And yes, cha word is used also end, yes, as end. Mata pita cha. So interesting. Cha is used as a and, both, also, moreover, as well as, I'm just translating from the dictionary. Maybe I should project this. It connects whole sentence as well as parts of sentences. So it can be in between sentences. It has that sense of contact, connection. But it is in the syntactic sense. We will come to the sense. Cha is also the meaning of pure, moving to and back, also mischievous, seedless, a thief, the moon, a tortoise, and Shiva. Shiva is Cha. It's from the lexicon. I'm just taking the words from the lexicon. So the language is very rich. It lives long life, thousands of years. And so you may find very interesting applications of this swift, brilliant action and contact and existence to many different meanings, contextual meanings. Cha, we have also in chad, to cover, interesting. Also chid, to split. E will play its role already because E will be doing that action, and so on. G, Ju, interesting. G is to conquer, to pierce. Ju is to speed up, to increase in speed. That restlessness will be increased in duality, so there will be a split. So it will create the tension which we consider to be a speed. Ja is hardly used in roots, but there are something I have to say to you before. There are two ways of approaching the etymology. One is there are two types of languages, let us say. One is knock-knock language. We can call it knock-knock, the imitation of the outer sounds. Yeah, knock-knock, Bach, and so on. You have many words. Splash. These words which imitate outer sounds. Yeah. So Ja has many words which are jinji, like the Bengals on the dancer, Jan Jan. These will be imitative sounds and imitative roots. And there are other roots which are not imitative of the outer sounds. Not knock language. It's not something we heard outside and then created root from it. It is something which we psychologically feel when we articulate. Original roots. Roots, psychological roots, not roots of imitation of the outer sounding. Yeah? It's interesting, especially how the language imitates outer sounds, like, for example, animal languages, like animals are speaking in different languages. Yeah? Like the pigs are speaking oink oink in English, but they speak khru khru in Russian. So, and how do they speak in, I don't know, in your language? Interesting to hear.
It's definitely not oink. I can
Not
tell you
oink,
that for
definitely.
sure. Yes.
You don't have that language how they speak? Oh, the cat. Okay, how cat speaks? Meow. It's interesting. Meow.
Cat is meow. Dog is what I found very different. In India we say says bow bow. In US you come and say woof woof. I'm like, okay. So yeah.
And in Russian we say gav gav. So gav gav, woof woof. So all different kind of interpretation of the outer sounds in them, yes. Or kukul doodle do. What is that to do with anything? Then that is the kukuriku, the cock. Cock says kukuriku in Russian, kukul doodle do in English. And how is that in Indian languages? I'm sure that all different Indian languages have different sounds for this.
Yeah, for cock it is kokoroko in Tamil at least. We'll say kokoroko.
Right. Yeah. And the cow? It's interesting. Cow. Moo? Is it doing
Cow actually we make a very elaborate sound, moo or something.
ma? Interesting.
Moo, yeah.
Not moo, yeah?
No, not moo.
We have mu in Ukrainian. Mu, idu do mu. Mu means I go home. Idu dodomu means I go home. When the cows come home, they do mu. They call, they give the sign that they are coming. They're reaching home, open the stables. Yes, it's amazing. So this language of imitation of outer sounds has many more. Those crushing, these are imitative roots. Interesting. And they sometimes and many times correspond with those articulations, psychological articulations also within our apparatus, but many times not, like knock knock. Knock knock has hardly anything to do with roots. Yeah? But not, if you say knot, yeah, the knot and knock, interesting, they somehow, somehow there's something association of the meaning. So some of roots have that power, like ja will have this jing, all these imitative sounds of the bells or bangles of the dancer. If you examine it in the dictionary, you will see all those meanings. Jakara, jan, jankara, the low murmuring, jingling, jingle bells. This is jing. That's very sound. What is jingle? It's imitation, yeah, of that's ding, the bell. And we have also ya, relation. It's interesting what he says relation, because all relative pronouns, all relative avyayas are starting with ya sound, yes? Yatra, yada, yaha, yahyau ye, yam yau yan, yana yav yam yahi, all yatra, yatra tatra, yada tada, yes? This ya is a relative sound. All the relative sentences starting with ya. All, I mean all. Yeah, there is no exclusion. And then sha, vehemence in union. Interesting. Sha. Why union? Why that power in union, or that an energy in union? There is something in this sh sound. First of all, it is fricative. It continues endlessly, infinitely, Shh. Doesn't need vocal cords. Interesting. Yeah. And it has energy in it. Energy which holds the space. From here, Shanti, all this Shiva. Shiva means merciful, yes? The one who gives the benefits. He is beneficent to all, good to all. From here, many words. Sham, Shiv, Shu, Shru. Yeah. Shakti, Shat. Yeah, we have root Shak, Shaknoti, the force itself, yeah? The potential power. But these, when we take them in words, we already apply them into a particular context. That kind of thing, to distinguish the context from the original meaning of the sound, is a new capacity of our mind. Yes? If we really could see it, that the contextual meaning carries that flavor, that varna, that would be a new achievement from this exercise. So it needs more time, I want to say. It cannot be easily kind of gotten. So I will take the two other Vargas, Ri Varga and Li Varga. Ri is vibrant state of existence, pulsing in space, being active upon a point within a limit. Here we will have already hardness. Ta is the hardest one. Cerebral ta, force, crudity, rajasic. Sri Aurobindo says. It's that ta. The same with the greater impetuosity, impetuosity, rajasic, dullness. Because of that voiced ta, which is more hard but crude and forceful, it becomes dull, persistent, obstinacy. Interesting, yeah? Rajasotamasic already. Because of the voice. When you add voice to this full stop, it becomes more fundamental to its own, kind of obstinacy. And daha obstinacy, tenacity, sorry. Li is similar to Ri. It's a Paninian definition, but more smooth. We spoke about this, yes? Crashing and clashing, like liking, leaking, sliding, gliding. Everywhere Li will have that, kind of sliding sense, rather than crushing, brushing, breaking, breaking and blaking, something of that kind. The difference, clashing and crashing. So, and dentals are full stops. Ta, touch, pure touch, impact. But lighter than ta, the same as ta, but with a greater force, of course. From here we have sta root or sta, which we spoke already, sut, because s belongs to also this. It's the, we will look at this at the end most probably. No, I didn't put them. I had to put them. If you put s, because s is a part of the dental varga, so sta is this, and then t, stop. So you have st, it's like stopping. This, you arrive at the obstacle, and sta is to stay with force, or to situate, and many words from here. Stable, station, stool, you name it, stubborn, stupid. you will have, because sit, you arrive at this stop, and that stop is dominant in all Indo-European languages. So this touch or impact or full stop is da. Now da, hard, forcible impact or action. Interestingly, that the root da is to give or to separate, to cut. From here we have many roots, da, di, du, dri, and also extended roots like div, to shine. Shine means emit light, cast out light, rays of light. So da, to give, to cut, is, we spoke about this root before, is very important. Also to sacrifice. Sacrifice means to give part of oneself, to the deity or to the environment. Daha, very popular root in Vedic language and Sanskrit. Softer but strong impact or action. So da is more forcible separation. Da is less separation. Something like da with strings attached, like giving but leaving oneself there. So it's establishing. Da is the meaning of the root, settling, stabilizing. And na is has this gentle but effective relation. Interesting. That's a Sri Aurobindo's definitions. Yeah. One does why? Okay, I'm stopping him. So sorry, I have to stop because there is another meeting and we are on the same Zoom. So we will continue next time. I will send you the whole table. So meditate upon it and we will come back to it.
Thank you, Vladimir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being on this hard and difficult topic together with me. All right, see you. Bye.